Yo, what's going on, guys? Spessy here. Today, looking at Northern Realms. Obviously, uploaded a Northern Realms list a few weeks ago, a few days ago, whenever it was. This updated list, really strong, and a few things that have changed. We're using Dumbo, the elephant. This card is absolutely bonkers good. It's proving to be very, very popular at the moment. There's a lot of siege decks going around in Uprising. This is not a siege version. If you'd like to see that, I can definitely bring that to you. But it's a 16-point card, but it also, obviously, with your Varaxis as well, this can be like a 24-point elephant, which is pretty nuts. 16 points is just really, really good point, Sam. Gives you a really good short round. And yeah, let's build the rest of the deck. So, obviously, like before, cards like Fallible would just be auto-include in these Northern Realms lists, and it's really nice to see other cards. And I'm actually not using Fallible. One thing Fallible does is it means you want to include cards like Maulers, etc. There's actually a lot of really, really good bronze cards in Northern Realms at 4 provisions that we can use instead. So pretty much like all the cards you're always going to want: a Baron, Iron Sace, Adalia. Obviously, I've got Varaxis and these Marines as well. That's our big devotion payoff. This Marine, probably the best bronze card in the game. You could make a strong argument to say. And Adalia is just absolutely amazing. Now, obviously, Iron Sace and Baron sort of go without saying. And then in at 9 provisions, obviously, Reynard's very tempting. I'm not a massive fan of this card, but Donomir of Troy is proving to be like the new meta card in these Northern Realms list. If you imagine if I'm in a Northern Realms mirror and I put down a defender in the back row, my opponent's not going to have a good way of dealing with it because there's no offensive purifier in Northern Realms. So cards like Iron Sace, Baron, Varaxis, War Elephant, Anna, Drummers, all your engines can just sit behind this defender, and it's very, very difficult to deal with. So defender is pretty much a must-have. For sure. And as I say, I'm not a massive fan of Reynard. He's half decent, but not including it. We're going to be using John the Tarless. And sort of all these cards in this range normally you want to avoid. But I'm also using Vandergrift. Vandergrift is a really nice way of forcing a pass. It's definitely a difficult card to implement, and you can sort of get caught up with this card. But essentially, if I put down Vandergrift, it highly incentivizes my opponent to pass, because otherwise they're not going to be able to dry pass me for card advantage. They're going to try and bleed me. And let's say I've not played Assault in round 1. I put down a Vandergrift while I'm ahead. It then means that my opponent cannot really dry pass me if they're at 7 cards, because I'm going to have a Vandergrift on the board, so I could just pass myself, take my card advantage, and then, yeah, or they can try and bleed me, and then I play my Assault, I resist the bleed, and I go into a short round for me with a big fat elephant. So Vandergrift, very difficult card to use effectively, but hopefully I'm not the best with him at times. I do make the odd misplay for sure, but definitely a high skill gap card and can be incredibly good for you. Definitely be careful of not setting this up to something that can be boiling oiled. Obviously, that can remove its resilience. Also, what Vandergrift, Iron Sace, and Donomir allow us to do is fit in a Mad Charge, which is a card I absolutely love. Really good on an Iron Sace in a back row. Really good on a Trident Infantry as well, as long as you've got a Knight. If you don't have a Knight, it's not the end of the world, but obviously Vandergrift's going to be, let's say I put Vandergrift down, this also gives me a Mad Charge sort of carryover, so it gives this card even more value. It's just a really, really good card for protecting engines as well. Just a great card when it works, and you definitely only want one of these. In at 7, it's Anna. Obviously, there's some very nice options like Egmont, but you want to really, generally speaking, when you're building decks, include as few of these sort of mid-rangey cards as possible, because that's what allows us to stack this gold list so heavily. And while you could say, okay, Vandergrift is sort of a mid-rangey card, he's actually just amazing, and can really win you matchups on his own because of sort of the threat. And the fact he comes in with a shield means he's very, very difficult to deal with. No surprise, we've got a double frigate. In at 5, we've got a single boiling ore. I would love to use 2. And we've got a couple of drummers. Gonna just give a honourable mention to the Crack City Guard as well. I think this is a very reasonable card to try and include in this list, because it's going to give you a massive advantage in the mirror matchup, because obviously Northern Realms doesn't have that Purify card, but Crack City Guard can sort of work as a way of dealing with Defender. Let's say your opponent's stacking the back row, they've got their Donomir, they've got their Elephant, you can't get through Defender, but you like want to answer their Anna with your Iron Cease. Well, you can just put this Crack City Guard behind your Defender, and then when the time is right, you move their Defender to the front row and you unleash your Baron, your Iron Cease, and that's just going to win you the mirror. So definitely a consideration, but I couldn't quite squeeze it into this list. As you can see, 36 provisions, all going to be these 4 provision cards. You want to stack in as many 4 provision cards as you humanly can. Already got quite a few as well, because again, it just makes the rest of your list better. It's only very few exceptions, such as cards like Drumug, Frigate, Anna, that just really play above their provision rating that you want to include that's not at 4. So yeah, Double Scytheman, double Royal Guard. Double Royal Guard is just an auto include. This card's just great. Demands on answer, obviously protects your engines. It's a soldier for your frigates. And I think double Scytheman is the way to go as well, because this card can just play for insane amount of points. You want at least one Scytheman. I'm still not massively convinced by two, but I think it's just worth it. Like, this card can just play for like 11, 12, 13 points. Particularly in a mirror matchup, it's another card that gives you a big advantage. If you have your Donomir set up, you're going to have like a whole board of boosted units. It's easily going to play for 12 points. We're using one Temple Guard. This is going to help set up our Scytheman really nice on a frigate, for example. We're going to use a single Trident, as I've mentioned, and we've got 2 spots left. So a few options. Obviously, Sintry Knight, really good. Don't really have a good way of setting it up consistently, unfortunately. I'm trying to think, honestly, what the other cards are. I am using a single Siege Support. Now, I'm not sold on this card. It's pretty bad, but what it gives you is, against Nilfgaard, just a way of making sure your Elephant can be played. If you win round 1, you can still play Elephant, because you get the Siege Support down and then you play Elephant, right? And give it a Zeal, whereas otherwise you play this Elephant and then it just gets invoed, right? Because you'd have to play it second to last, and even if you have last say, it doesn't protect it. And there is one more slot in this list, which honestly I cannot remember for the life of me what the card was. I've got double Scytheman, double Royal Guard, double Marine, I've got 1 Trident, I've got 1 Siege Support. Maybe it was double. Wait, where's my Assault? Wait, it's Assault, it's 12 provisions. Thank you. Wasubi saves the day. I was thinking, I was like, what's going on here, bro? Like, I've got 1 little 4-piece slot left. Yeah, it's Assault. Well, I mean, whatever, we'll keep the deck guide going. Obviously, I'm using Assault, right? Like, come on. Thanks, Wasubi. So yeah, let's move on. This is the list. Again, this Siege Sport's kind of bad, but it's kind of cute. This War Elephant's just so good, and again, in the Nilfgaard matchup, it does help. You can also, of course, use it to give your Einsace a little bit of Zeal as well. So I'll just go to this one. I've got my stuff set up. I have lost the last couple of games, unfortunately, so I was getting a bit triggered. But I've really been slacking on the YouTube videos the last few days, so I wanted to bring you something. Lots of cool Shiro decks I could potentially bring you. I've updated Blaze of Glory. I'm going to be learning a bit of what's it called? Hidden Cash, because I still don't really know how to play coins. But talking about mulligans, I'm going obviously second against SK. Ideally, we're going to hold on to Assault and not play it, right? Because that means we're just pretty resistant to the bleed round 2. Or if we win the round without committing Assault, I can bleed with Assault and it's not a commitment. Because we're pretty scared of Wild Boar. Looking at the hand, obviously this card's going to get clapped, but it's kind of decent to have. Donomir normally gets removed in round 3, so we could actually consider just trying to sit behind Donomir. I think I'm going to ditch a Royal Guard, honestly. Let's ditch a Marine, right? And let's ditch the Amphibious Assault and just play it through John. Cool, we found an oil, which is pretty good. So, yeah, a couple of considerations. I'm pretty sure we just always... Honestly, I think we just play Donomir, right? Because essentially what's going to happen to Donomir is in round 3, it's going to get Leader plus Champion of Champions, whatever it's called, Champions Charge, I don't know what it's called. And this might just mean we can save our Assault and not commit it. Obviously, if I play this frigate, it just gets clapped, right? Like, it just gets absolutely destroyed. But I want to probably frigate the front row as well, and Donomir the back. Or do we just Donomir the front? So this is just like a different thing that this defender gives you, right? A nice option, a way of resisting, like not committing your Assault so early. Because a lot of the time that's what will happen with these sorts of decks. You just feel like you have to play Assault. So obviously like Stunning Blow does a lot of damage to this, and my opponent might be able to get through it. But, you know, it's just it's allowing us to set up our engines, so it's really not the end of the world here. See the value of all these cards already, like the Marine. Could have just done with keeping a second Marine potentially, right? Feels like it could have been a winner in this round 1. We're applying a lot of pressure on our opponent already. Obviously, I've got access to this Trident as well. And we're kind of keen to try and play this Royal Guard and set up... this frigate in the front row. I could just play the frigate in the back, right? In theory. But I kind of want to like, like Greed Baron. Definitely the possibility we just play the frigate in the back. I think I'm just going to play this though. It'd be rude not to, right? It's a low committal play. Again, we've still got this Vandergrift as well to dump down. Okay, so we win the round thanks to this defender, and we can even just dump down this Vandergrift now, right? The defender just secures round 1 for us without committing assault, which is huge, because what this now means is I can try and bleed my opponent in round 2, because I don't really fancy going into a long round against full leader, wild boar, all that sort of stuff, right? And I've also got a Vandergrift on the board, which means that like Mad Charge, for example, is going to be worth a decent amount too. A daily on a frigate is pretty good, but obviously the issue with it as well is it plays into Wild Boar and Hemdall, so I don't think I'm going to bother. I've only just noticed this crack on this card. What's going on there? Never seen that before. What is that crack on this card all about? Weird. I think I'm going to kick it. My phone pinging. Very professional. Okay, we got a frigate. Nice. Just what I wanted. We're looking at it through a spyglass. Ah, interesting. Easter eggs from chat revealed. So, I mean, I guess I just did daily of the frigate, right? So, there's a couple of options. I'm obviously going to be assaulting at some point. Like, I definitely want to push this. I don't fancy a super long round. So, I think... And you normally want to frigate at the back because there's a lot of row-locked units at the front. I don't have an abundance of soldiers, though. At least I can put John at the front, right? So, actually, I think I'm just going to frigate the front. Seeing as I've already got a unit in the back, I think it's fine. Definitely not the ideal hand here, but we're not going to like go all in on this round. What we're going to ideally do is keep our leader. So I'm going to take a raw guard here, as that's going to protect this second frigate, and now I've got 2 frigates set up. Play straight into Wild Boar, right? But we're not going to like be in this round for too long. Hand's pretty awkward for sure, but we may as well use the assault, right? There's no reason not to play assault when yeah. I was definitely considering going for like a drummer or something there, but I think this raw guard is just going to allow me to set this frigate up, which is pretty useful. And that's the beauty of what this defender's allowed us to do, right? It's allowed us to commit this assault to try and bleed our opponent without actually committing much. And you can already see if I was to like full leader here, it's a lot of points very, very quickly. We've got this oil as well. Should probably just take on Scout, right? It's a 10-point oil. Could also take it on this Raider. There's no real rush, right? I could take it on the Raider for 7 points, but it also denies Bloodthirst. A bit of a decision. Bit of a decision to make here. I don't really want to put this Royal Guard down when this Raider's chilling there, right? Also, killing Scout could open up like a Hemdall. But it seems... Hjalmar. It seems unlikely my opponent would play Hjalmar on this list. Kind of tempted to just put Baron in the back row. Baron's pretty useless in this matchup. But this is kind of threatening me quite a bit. I think I'm just going to kill this. Seems like I should just kill Scout, right? But I'm pretty sure it's actually correct to just kill the Raider. Maybe that's a misplay. But, like, the Raider's just threatening this. Like, I can't really get value off this Royal Guard, right? And we definitely want to try and save leader too for the War Elephant, because what Uprising does with you is it allows you to get another soldier next to this elephant. So I didn't really explain what this card's doing at the start. It damages adjacent units by 4, then boosts itself by 4 for each unit damaged. But if you have soldiers next to it, wait, why would you bleed the Vandergrift when it's got a shield? What's that all about, chat? This now allows us to get our Royal Guard down that we were a little bit worried about. Opponent's playing so slowly, right? Definitely scared of like Wild Boar, for example. But we're certainly gearing up towards our pass. Pretty sure Baron just sucks in this matchup, and I may as well just keep clicking, right? So far ahead. Do we ever just full leader and dump Scytheman? Honestly, we could go all in here. I've got Assault, top deck, right? Guaranteed. We just need to stop clicking if we're going to go all in. We'll see what our opponent does and how we want to react. In comes the Blood Eagle. Just like a Hemdall or something. No Greatsword, which significantly lowers the impact this card is going to have. I mean, I think it would be rude not to keep playing, right? $14 points to the good. Yeah, we don't want to play Elephant because COC exists. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I should have buffed the Vandergrift. That was a slight misplay. I decided last minute to just go for it, which I think is probably a misplay against Wild Boar. I probably should have not done that. I feel like that was my pass, right? Oh, that was very questionable. Very, very, very questionable. Leader's worth an awful lot with War Elephant as well. I think I might have thrown this game, chat. Like, I also should have buffed Vandergrift, right? It denies a Bloodthirst. Which... This is certainly my pass. Isn't it? Like, this is a order, right? But... I mean... Wild Boar's probably enough, right? That's the issue here. Maybe it's not, though. We'll find out. 18 points. Plus... Yeah, it's always... I shouldn't have committed full leader, right? It's a misplay. I should have probably just passed. Yeah. That's pretty painful, man. I think... Not buffing this might have thrown me the game. We still could win, right? It's not about me. I've just been honestly making a few very subtle misplays. Like, I was in cruise control there, right? And I just gave my opponent like a really, really good chance at coming back into this. That sucks here, man. Okay. Band 9 says you still miss Varaxis, still miss Anna, but we can't really complain too much. Unfortunately, I've only got 2 soldiers as well, which is also the danger of investing leader when you're using a card like War Elephant. Just clear up there. We've got Marine, probably. So I play this first, and then I could Marine this. But obviously, if this dies, like, my War Elephant just sucks. You need a crew pocket. So I definitely misplay with my leader, chat. I think I've thrown this game pretty significantly. Unfortunately, like, my War Elephant's just bad now. Rip. Sorry, chat. I let the team down here. Let the team down. So we're not supposed to use the boost here because it'll just down. This is like Not playing for many points at all, man. We still win. Did our best to throw, but I think we still pulled it off with an 8-point elephant, man. Jesus. So don't do what I did. Like, you need leader for this card to be good, right? If I just had leader there, like, I have so many more points, right? I massively misplayed. And there's Paya as well. God! We beat Paya, but, like, I played it like an idiot. Right? Obviously, if you don't know Paya Ball, like, absolute geezer. One of the best to do this. So we'll definitely take it, but definitely didn't play. Like, I think the decision to commit leader was wrong. Right? I think the decision to commit leader round 2 was wrong. We'll play one more. Yo, Paya. I'm recording a deck guide, bro. Talk to me. What did I do wrong? My leader round 2, was that terrible? Was my leader round 2 just terrible? Should I have just passed? Would you agree? I'd be interested. Okay, game 2 up against a Raka Swarm, which I'll be honest, I had a pass. Right, yeah. It was terrible for me, right? I had a pass. Yeah. Okay. That one was through. Thanks for the confirmation. I actually appreciate it, for real. Okay, we're up against Raka Swarm. I'm worried this might be like some unitless nonsense. Don't want this round 1. I definitely don't want 2 frigates. I'm also very worried about predatory dive in this one, for sure. So whatever I put down basically dies, but Adalia sort of clutches up for us in that sense. Adalia on a ship is like a really nice counter here. Right, so what I should have done in that last matchup is I should have just done some maths, right, on Boar, which I just didn't do any maths. And said, right, how many points is Boar? Is it enough to catch up? No, it's not. But instead, I decided to keep playing and use full leader. Okay, I'm pretty scared. Ethereal is probably coming in next. Which I don't have any way of dealing with. Maybe I should... Probably should have boosted this, right? Yeah, this is a misplay as well. Right, yeah, I got really lucky. Right, just didn't top deck well. It was an undeserved victory in the end. But this is so bad by me, man. So all it takes is a TA here. I was going to log off just before that game, but I remembered I needed to do a deck guard. I've just been playing like a bit of a melon. This is kind of what I should have done last time. Okay, we click the ship. Then we get this shit down a little bit later than we should have, but I'm just very, 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 very worried about passing against anyone playing Arrakis Swarm, because a lot of the time it's like some unitless nonsense. So that's why I've like taken this line of playing double ship. I guess I just call a drummer in here too, honestly. So what I need to do here is, assuming it is some sort of unitless cheese, which by the way guys, if you're watching this and it does turn out to be that, please don't play this deck. It's not good. It's just yeah, kind of disgraceful. Please don't get baited into playing decks like this. It's not the way, man. But I could be wrong. It might not be, right? It could be a wholesome ethereal Arrakis Swarm deck. Can have it all wrong. We could see a renew coming in on this ethereal soon. Drago eggs. I'm kind of worried about what on earth I'm playing against. Let's just get this triadem down, which is going to hopefully ping those ones, which it does. What a gentleman. What an absolute geezer, you could say. We're looking alright, despite... I should have TA'd my Royal Guard initially, right? But just slowed us down. I would basically have this set up a turn sooner. I would basically have had everything set up a turn sooner, like this. So honestly, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's kind of like 4 or 5 points wasted, really. maybe more. Still pretty concerned about what on earth I'm playing against, I'll be honest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Committing Baron here also seems kind of suicidal, right? Definitely need to keep this card. Probably should be passing at some point, like about last turn. That was probably my pass, but as I said, I'm kind of worried about passing against this kind of deck. But also, yeah, Lacerate against this leader's kind of a shoo-in. Yeah, we actually somehow win the round. Well, yep, we'll take it. I think I've probably overstayed my welcome there because Lacerate would have been a little bit devastating. But we're going to push. As I said, I'm very, very concerned about what on earth I'm playing against, which basically means you should just push. John the Talus would be great to play around Predatory Dive here. Okay, we'll leave with a Royal Guard. Definitely not going to pass. It's a great hand, full of golds. You couldn't really ask for a better hand, right? To be honest, I've drawn very, very well. I drew pretty well in the last game as well. I only missed a couple of cards. Like, you saw, like, last game, the smallest little decision can just throw it. Like, player definitely just didn't top deck well and I got bailed out from it. Misplayed very badly. Had a pass. Maths is important, right? You just do the maths on board. You're like, damn, you got it. So, as I said, I was pretty much anticipating a Pred dive here. We managed to keep the Baron. Maybe I could have gone for the long round and just gone, yeah, whatever, I'm not worried. But I'll be honest, guys, pretty worried. So, two options. Frigate, option 1. Option 2 is Drummer. I'm pretty sure it's Frigate with this hand. If in doubt, play a ship. Crones. What an interesting deck my opponent has. 0 Crones in a Arrakis Swarm deck. I rate it, I rate it. Could be a Kiki of some sort. Maybe the ship's incorrect though, because the possibility of Lacerate, right? Maybe I should have just gone Drummer. So is this a Pred dive? Seems super late if it is, right? A. No second thoughts. I'm going all in here. This is a 2-0, I think. Yeah, I'm right. Should have the 2-0. You can see the power of the deck, right? how long into this video were we? 28 minutes? I haven't said that yet. And we did, of course, commit AA round 1, so I don't have that on my top deck. We have a back row of these. I feel a little bit uneasy about back rowing either of them. But maybe I'm being a bit silly. But Heatwave, this could also get Heatwaved, right? I mean, this gets Heatwaved anyway, right? So... I guess we always play this first, though. Little crew pocket made by the volunteers. But we probably don't want to Varaxis this in case, again, Heatwave is a thing. Obviously, if I had Defender, it would be much less risky to make this line. Top deck's looking very pants. But this is what Northern Realms is very good at, is pushing these sorts of games that could look unwinnable. I'd actually get Defender out if I kill this Goliath, so that's worth considering. So if I was to double leader charge, 6, 4, we 6, 4, 2, 2, dead. So I can't kill it with Vine Sace. But I could just damage it, right? And then I could kill it with Varaxis. Seems pretty reasonable. That's true. If this volunteer dies, it would, but I'm going to probably full leader anyway. I'm pretty much all in on this one, right? I wouldn't be surprised if Iron Sace gets killed here. Right. The question is now, are we scared of Heatwave? I guess we're not. Okay. We're all in, boy. What would beat us? Nothing, really. Yeah, cool. It would be like Heatwave plus Glusty, right? And that's what you want to just try and do a lot of the time with this deck. Win round 1 and then push round 2. So we've actually pushed the MMR. I feel like I did not deserve that win against Paya, so I feel a little bit bad. But I'm going to leave the video there. Definitely want to start bringing more YouTube videos soon. I can play more of this deck as well, but I'm probably just going to leave it there because I'm just going to go get a coffee or something. I've deleted most of my decks, but I've got lots of Scoia'tael decks. I might even just record another video for you now. So I've got some stuff to upload as I'm back in work soon. But 24-point Elephant. So there's a few Scoia'tael decks. I've updated my Blaze of Glory list. I want to start playing some Hidden Cache. I've been playing some Congregate, but it's not been very good. And yet, I've not played any Nilfgaard or really much monsters this season. But yep, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Deck is really good. Deck list in the description. Obviously, streaming on Twitch most days as well. So make sure if you're not following on Twitch, and there, I've got Twitter in the description. I've got Discord, where I'm going to try and get my Discord like a bit more popping off at the moment. It's gone a bit quiet over there. So if you want to talk about some Gwent, you've got some music you'd like to share, all that sort of stuff. You want to see some fan arts of me. If you want to do some, you want to see the speci Photoshop, some stream highlights I put in there as well. Let me know, and I'll definitely try and start putting some more stuff on YouTube. Lots I want to do. Back in work in like a week, so certainly already starting to prepare. So that's why I've had sort of less time, and that's going to certainly be the case moving forward for sure. I'm going to be super busy, but yeah, really enjoyed the game at the moment. Met it super good. Hope you enjoyed the video. War Elephant. What a card. Adios.